This is your 5 tech things you should know about, brought to you by Mosey, and we're gonna usher out the old in the PC and usher in the new in the tablet, including 3D. Ooh. Hey everybody, welcome to the 5 tech things you should know about. For all you weekend warriors in tech that don't want too much information overload or else your heads are gonna explode, let's get into your 5 tech things you should know about this week. Bring out your dead, your PC dead, dead PCs. I don't know. Anyway, Gartner came out with a press release yesterday talking about the PC and worldwide PC sales have declined in Q1 of 2011, where they thought there was actually going to be a 3% increase. It turned out to be a 1.1 decrease, which was pretty interesting to see. Now, what makes this so interesting is this is the first time that the world PC market has decreased in sales for 2 years in a row, back-to-back years. So in Q1 of 2010, it was 1.1% up, and in Q1 of 2009, it was even more up. Now it's just been decreasing. They're saying that tablets and all the mobile technology is what's to blame for the worldwide PC decrease. And I guess that's kind of true. You don't want a big old bulky PC with a humongous monitor. You want a small little device that you can carry around with you, and maybe a device for your TV and no actual desk or PC or anything like that. It's pretty cool. I have a desktop, which is over here. I have my laptop, I have my phone. I don't have a tablet or anything mobile like that. I'm looking into different types of mobile tablets, and we're going to be talking about one in a second here. But my question to you is, have you abandoned your PC? Have you abandoned your laptop for a tablet? I know one person that has done that. I personally use all of my technology when I need to, how I need to. Like, for instance, when I produce video, I go over to the big PC. When I'm working on mobile, I use the laptop. And of course, I use my phone all the time when I can't get to either of them with a Wi-Fi signal, because it's also got 3G. So we're getting into a more mobile world, so I can see how the PC is going to get phased out for something smaller, something better. It does ask the question, isn't a tablet technically a PC? Or a Mac for that. Speaking of tablets, first of all, I have to tell you, if you have a Blackberry, the 5 tech things you should know about is now over on Blackberry in their Blackberry HD department. So you can grab your Blackberry and watch the 5 tech things you should know about on your Blackberry. Of course, RIM came out with the Blackberry Playbook. It's coming out very, very soon. It's going to be very comparable to the iPad price-wise, starting at $499. It's not as big of a screen. It's a 7.1-inch touchscreen, but it has some pretty good features in it internally that make it a player in this game. Like, for instance, a dual-core processor running at 1 gigahertz. The iPad 2 has that. It has 1 gigabyte of internal memory, whereas the iPad 2 only has 512 megabytes of internal memory. Rear-facing camera at 5 megapixel, front-facing camera at 3 megapixel, whereas the iPad, I believe it's a 0.3 megapixel for the front-facing VGA style. It'll have micro USB. It'll also have a micro HDMI port on the side of it, so you don't have to buy an accessory to hook up to your TV if you need to. For the price, the Playbook looks like a pretty cool thing. It is using BlackBerry's operating system, so if you're not used to it, you're going to have to learn the ropes, I suppose you could say, on a little bit of that. A lot of people have been reviewing it. They find it pretty comparable. There's some things that they don't like about the Playbook, and there's lots of things that they do like about the Playbook. I'm going to get my hands on one very, very shortly, and when I do, I'll get you a full review. But in the meantime, everything will be coming out to Radio Shack and other retailers like Best Buy very soon for the Playbook. It's something to think about, especially since we're getting in all these little tablets left and right. Which tablet will be best for you? We'll find out. Right now, the Playbook, the numbers are looking pretty impressive. All right, you might remember about a couple months ago, a company called Uber Media. It wasn't called Uber Media, but it turned into Uber Media. They were suspended from Twitter because Twitter ended up changing their API. Now, Uber Media didn't like it, but they conformed and they got to Twitter. Well, now they've announced that they're going to be creating their own Twitter client, their own 140 characters. What are you doing right now? Pretty interesting step, especially since a lot of analysts have pretty much said, do you really want to build another Twitter-type system? We already have enough out there. I mean, if you don't want to use Twitter, technically you can use Facebook. Facebook bought a company called FriendFeed, which is kind of mocking what Twitter does. You got Plurk, which has more of a graphical interface. And you have all the other ones that have been either consumed by other companies or are still running today that are not as popular as Twitter. So what does Uber Media believe makes them the better program to actually do Twitter clients? Don't know too much about this, and of course it's all in speculation phase and hey, we're going to do it type words. But as it goes forward, we'll kind of keep you abreast of the whole situation and see what happens. Personally, I think that you should stick with Twitter, but I understand why you want to control the data so you can use your applications without somebody saying, you know, I don't think this is working for you anymore. We're changing all the rules about it, and you can't do that anymore. So we'll see what happens. All right, the fascinating segment I call the top 5 things that I learned this week, so let's get started. Number 5, Doctor Who is coming, Doctor Who is coming. Who? Doctor Who. Who? What? Doctor Who. Who? Number 4, according to Mosey Research, 1 out of 4 people sabotage their PC to get a new one. No iPad for you. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, I was an IT administrator. I'm going to give you a little word of warning. Don't sabotage your PC. You might find out you're not going to get a new PC. You'll get an old one. Now, like I said, I worked as an IT administrator. We have to watch our budgets as well. So we can't just give out brand new PCs if somebody spills coffee on a keyboard or damages the box in some way, shape, or form. So you might not get a better PC. You might just get a used PC. And it's not out of spite. It's just out of budget. Number 3, your coffee habit might be genetic. Blame your parents. I learned it from watching you, Dad. Parents that use coffee have kids that use coffee. Number 2, I might actually have a chance of being the next host of the Today Show. Pretty cool.
Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now?
How do you build America's largest wireless network?
Can you hear me now? Good.
By never being satisfied.
Can you hear
And
me?
the number 1 thing I learned this week, I can hear you now. Paul Macarelli, hey Macarelli, otherwise known as Verizon's Test Man, did an interview with The Atlantic on being his famed character for the last 10 years. He even accounts where he was at his grandmother's funeral and someone decided to ask the question, can you hear me now? And those are the 5 things that I learned for this week. Since we're on the whole tablet kick, let's continue on here. A pretty cool app. And what was cool about this was I was watching this on another show, which was pulling from the YouTube, and you're going to be seeing this a bit of this YouTube video in a second here. They made an application that looked 3D, even at a copy of a copy of a copy. In fact, while you're watching the video, you might see things just kind of pop out naturally 3D, which is pretty amazing. Jeremy Francone and Lawrence Negay of the EHCI Research Group created an iPad app that produces fully 3D graphics. Of course, no glasses that are needed. That app combines head tracking technology and uses the iPad's front-facing camera with 3D graphics that create an immersive 3D environment. The app doesn't use any of the tablet's accelerometer. It's based on the camera and the movements and the user's head to determine the 3D. And like I said, if you're watching that video right now, which I have playing in the background, you're seeing a 3D environment even though you're watching it from a 2D screen. I can see this getting very popular very fast. And if you got a tablet, and I'm assuming it works for not only tablet, but also a smartphone or even a computer, if you've got it set up right, I think we've just changed the way that we do our computing, especially gaming, because that's going to be really cool to play some games in 3D without any glasses. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to back up now, back up often, back up offsite, and you're using that code GEEK, and that's going to get you 15% off that already low price. Plans start at $5.99 per computer to back up your pictures, your documents, your life. Save your life from fire, from theft, from anything, flood, computer illness, hard drive crash, whatever. Mozy.com is the best way, the easiest way to back up to an off-site location. Even if you get a brand new computer, you can just bring it back, and they'll even let you back up on-site to a USB drive. There's no reason why you shouldn't have this service to back up now, back up often, back up off-site. And it even gets better as now they have an iPhone app so you can check your data that was backed up and restore it at need. So back up now, back up often, back up off-site. Use the code GEEK for 15% off over at Mozy.com. You know, we talk about augmented reality as it's such a new thing, but there are people that are working with old technology to make this new technology work. And this is no difference. This is a guy by the name of Sebastian Schmieg. He's a Berlin art student. He created what was called 81 points of view. He used an older technology called Pepper's Ghost. Now, if you remember correctly, a few years ago during Halloween, he had this really cool thing where you had to take the TV, you set it flat, and you put a piece of plexiglass about 45 degrees in an angle, and then you put it in the window, and then it looks like you have a hologram coming from a window, you know, like a ghost going woo or something like that. The same technology is being used on this. What Sebastian did was he took an old slide projector, 81 slides, and as you turn the slide projector, it would create a panoramic view by changing from slide to slide. So as you moved the projector, you'd actually move the image and have an augmented reality version of it. An old steampunk version of the augmented reality, but nonetheless, a pretty cool view of augmented reality. It makes me wonder how we can take old technology and make it new again and have a lot of fun doing it. I would have loved to have seen this happen, and if I was in Berlin, I'd probably go check out Sebastian's art exhibit because he is an artist and he's got a full exhibit out there. So it's pretty cool that we can think outside the box and take old technology and make it really, really cool. And of course, that's the 5 tech things that you should know about. My name is Jeffrey Powers. If you like the show, let me know over at geekazine@gmail.com. Of course, comment and give me stars over on whatever player you're watching, including the new Blackberry channel over at RIM. Any questions, geekazine@gmail.com. Go over to www.geekazine.com for all the shows and all the blogs. Got some new bloggers coming on to the site. So thanks a lot for watching. We will see you next time on the 5 tech things you should know about. Take care.